is true. I did say that.
And you also, and I'm like, were you happy with how that segment went? And your response is, I'm never happy with how any segment goes.
I did say that also.
Unless there's chaos.
What do you mean?
and he's creating it. Yes.
But also, that's the most informed I've been. I mean, did you miss the 3 years of The Masked Singer?
I wrote down to Dan, it was odd, Billy. I was turned on. I really was.
What?
No.
Yeah, me too.
An informed, confident Billy
Turned
is something
on?
that turns me on. Yes, I am looking at him differently. He's better
Marlins
looking.
facts,
He's
do it
better
for me.
looking now.
Yeah.
He really is.
It is the difference between Billy, who comes in here wearing 47 colors, and Billy, who's crushing everyone in a sprint, looking muscular, in the single greatest photograph ever taken that wasn't of Muhammad Ali in sports.
That's a good picture. I like that.
I mean, you look so muscular and confident. You look like Thor. You look like it's superhero Billy.
Why isn't that your avatar for everything?
It's
It should be.
superhero
It makes
Billy.
me sad because I look at myself presently and I'm like, was that real? I look at it and I wonder if that was real. Because I'm so far from that.
Dad and pandemic.
Yeah.
But you didn't feel good about any of that because it was good to hear Samson challenged in a way that wasn't emotional like Ariel Helwani or Billy Corbin, that was just very stoic but also passionate. You care about this baseball team, and this baseball team and baseball continues to betray what you care about.
Yeah. By the way, the break had a lot of people chirping and saying, hey, you know what? And I was like, where were you guys 20 minutes ago when I was sitting out here by myself?
Oh, interesting, because a similar thing happened to me a few months ago, and no one in the back row had my back either. Also, Billy, I don't know anything about the Marlins, so
Yeah.
I wanted to back you up, but I didn't really have the receipts like you did.
You're better that way, though. Like, you're better off not knowing about the Marlins. Save you some hurt.
Well, I'm a Cubs fan, so.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, they delivered her twice in the playoffs.
Ugh. But
So-
it didn't count, right?
So crushing the way that they one of our most historic losers, the Chicago Cubs, one of the most epic losery things in the history of their losers was done to them by the Marlins, by Mike Mordecai. by Mike Mordecai. Like, this was Jessica as a young fan and Billy as a young fan.
I loved it. Every moment of it. The old woman. I remember, I will never forget, God rest her soul, because I'm sure she's gone because it's been 20 years. But the old woman that had the Cubs knit hat on that was crying at the end. She must have been 80 at the time. There's no way she's not 100 now. Just crying because she knew this is it. I'm never going to see it happen.
Maybe it was
and she
Sister
probably
Jean.
didn't.
The best you've ever felt as a sports fan, the most you've ever felt like that guy sprinting Thor beating everyone in the shipping container, is those Marlins. Is it not? Is it not the Samson Marlins that broke the heart of Jessica Smetana?
I was a big Orlando Rage fan for the XFL, but that season fell apart after they lost Jeff Brom due to injury.
You've had nothing. You've had nothing to love because you didn't love Wade. You didn't love the Heat, so you're
Him.
sports fan.
We need to bring him into everything. When are we going to let that go?
He's the only winner we had for 20 years here.
Did they ever rename that street after him finally or not? I thought they were going to. Didn't they announce they were going to?
Do you hate Wade just because he's made
don't
the
hate him.
Marlins look bad by winning or by being too competent? Is this the source of your tension, Heat Marlins tension with Mike?
No, I don't hate Wade. I just, we kind of paint him in this light that's not entirely accurate, this whole Heat lifer business. And then every time he gets a chance, he leaves.
Dirk Nowitzki is going to join us at the end of this hour.
Now you're just trying to bother me.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm a big Dirk guy.
We got to let him have it.
You let him
I
have
got
it.
something for him.
I've got nothing for him.
Really?
That guy owns me.
2006.
It doesn't even count.
Oh, I don't think there's somebody I could tell you is coming.
2010-11 was like 4 championships in one.
It's remarkable, like how the reverse trauma, like on both sides, where it's like I'm like the memory that sticks out for Dirk more is probably 2006, and the memory that sticks out for us more is probably 2011. Like it's the losing that remains far more in the memory than the winning.
They probably hate Dwayne Wade in Dallas the way like Dirk. I don't hate Dirk because he seems like a nice guy. It's just like, no, stop, like miss one free throw.
Well, Wade was because of the number of free throws that he got. Like that's a particular kind of hatred.
No, but the Mavericks absolutely own the banner advantage when it comes down to the two teams because they won the more impressive one. They won the more impressive one, and all the allegations surrounding what happened in 06 with the funny officiating, to put it very politely. The banter advantage lies in Dallas, and I'm willing to admit that.
The best
unfortunately.
performance in those two finals was Wade.
James Posey. Oh.
Right?
Oh,
I mean-
man, but Dirk was so.
Wade is that's like an all-time
yes,
finals
Wade's
performance.
is an all-time performance, but the only reason I think
aided.
the only reason I think of Dirk's as an all-time performance is because of who he was doing it against. It was one dude against those three.
I think I would put James Posey's knee-high socks in the rafters of Heat things.
It's a great one.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Put the rest of the rafters up there of things.
Well, there's Mike Miller's shoe, obviously, goes
Yep.
up in there.
Antoine Walker's shimmy.
Yeah, I would put Shaquille O'Neal's giant 18-wheeler that he rode in on. I don't know how you would
Oh,
hang
the Super
that.
Soaker too.
Yeah. I think I would put both up there.
I will say that Dirk is obviously one of the all-time greats. NBA 75, won that Finals MVP, deservedly so. But if LeBron were merely just bad, if he was just merely bad, Dwayne Wade would have won that Finals MVP and a fourth title. And maybe history looks back on Dwayne Wade even better than it does right now, because he's never in the conversation with Kobe. Though, if you look at numbers and efficiencies, you could actually have that argument. Dwayne Wade, in my mind, is certainly top 5 shooting guard in the history of the NBA. He's not discussed like that. If he wins an NBA Finals MVP with a prime LeBron on the court and a fourth title, maybe that changes the narrative surrounding him.
We have 2 more items for the Raptors. Tony has one and I have one.
For me is when LeBron got his headband knocked off on the dunk in the finals.
Oh, no, that's not what I thought.
That one goes up there.
You don't
No.
like that, Billy?
No, I thought he was talking about the Dwayne Wade Band-Aid under his eye. Because that
that's
one's
a
good.
beauty.
And along the same lines, the LeBron James black mask.
Yes!
That has to be the
That
LeBron
was a
item.
good one.
Mike Miller's shoe?
Yeah, Steve
Martin also. I was so nervous about it.
Mikey.
I was so nervous about it. I looked around. I'm like, shit. Steve Martin also.
Also, Celtic tears.
Are you fighting yourself?
Yeah, no, that was-
excellent.
The broken
$20 now,
the
buddy.
broken glass in the fire extinguisher when Amari Stoudemire punched it.
Yes, has to go up there.
Is there a more haunting name that I could tell the shipping container is coming up next from sports? Like, if I tell Miami, the people who have been with this show since the beginning, since we started a million years ago, if I tell you one name is coming up next on the show, is there a more haunting one I can deliver?
Yeah.
Allen Houston?
Ernie
No.
Banks. that would
JJ
haunt me.
Barea.
Terry Porter.
Oh, Terry Porter. Nobody's ever talked to the referee who took that championship from the University of Miami, right? He's never spoken publicly. We should try to get him.
He's a mute.
It's been long enough.
Also, if you watch that playback with the 20-year, like with the perspective of 2022, that was pass interference. Like if you watch that now at the time,
Knock it off.
at the time it was like it was close, but also like Dan Fouts. Like people don't realize that Dan Fouts shouting "bad call" on the broadcast like seriously affected our perspective. But I mean, if you look at it now, it was PI.
No, it wasn't. And Glenn Sharp, interestingly enough, was charged with murder.
Oh, Jesus.
No, the charges were dropped, but he was charged and arrested with murder when you see that. And the receiver in that play was Chris Gamble, who ended up having a nice career in the NFL, but not as a receiver, as a corner. He played both sides of the ball for Ohio State.
A lot happened in this segment,
Yeah.
said Billy.
A lot happens.
By the way, I have an update on Dorothy, the Cubs fan.
Oh.
She has passed away, but she was alive for the Cubs World Series in 2016.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
She's-
good for her.
She celebrated by drinking Jägermeister.
So is that a $50 fine?
I
for
hate
Billy?
Jaeger. I mean,
No, because she's
No, she is
Passed
now
now.
dead. She is
She is
now
No,
now
but
dead,
I
yes.
feel like the accusation was that she would not have been alive.
No,
during the
that's a
Cubs World
different.
Series
That's a
win.
different Cubs fan. That's not the one I was thinking of.
Dorothy?
Yeah, no, it's not Dorothy.
Oh.
This
Is this a
woman
fine
was
for
blonde.
Stugotz reading
How's
the
it a
internet
five
wrong?
for me? I mean,
No, it's
How's
fine.
there more
Internet
than one
wrong.
old Cubs fan from 2003?
How'd you find the
knit
one?
hat. I mean,
Viral Cubs fan. There's probably more than one old one who we don't know about.
But Billy, why after we have that conversation with Samson? Because we were arguing in the kitchen. I do think Jessica, I think we should have the conversation with Samson about whether or not he's sensitive, because I don't think he's sensitive, and Jessica thinks he's very sensitive. And Billy really did just want to be left alone yesterday. He said that Samson's opinion on all things Marlins was bleeping ridiculous, and then Samson went after him on Twitter and brought hell into Billy's life that he didn't want in his life.
Billy always wants to be left alone.
Well, because the person to blame for that, and I'm not positive, but I am positive because of his history, is Ryan Cortez, who for sure just went and clipped that thing and put it online because he likes to stir the pot more than I do.
Really, Billy.
More than I do.
I find that hard.
He's on a mission to get me fired.
And I
From
have
all
it
my
on
other
good
jobs.
authority that
All
he
right,
is also
find
not
out.
a fan
All
of
right,
David Samson.
All right, we've got anarchists all around here.
Also, Dan, please, leaky faucet tard. That was an off-air conversation.
Well, no conversations around here.
I just will never, ever speak to you off the cuff ever again.
Now you're learning.
Good move.
No conversations
on the record.
around here are private. I don't believe that David Samson will be hurt by that because I don't believe he's sensitive. But you and I are viewing him very differently. And I don't know who's right, because I think that dude is made of wires, and I think he proves it by the way he talks about sports. Like, I believe the disconnect on some of the stuff with you guys where you're talking emotionally. He's like, yeah, I was an asshole businessman. I had to be. That was my job. My job was to make glory and money. I didn't care about people. I feel like there is a level of being made of wires for you to look at that stuff and be that cold about it that you have to be. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe he is secretly sensitive and just covered in a whole bunch of armor.
But also, like, he does describe staring at the ceiling at night, trying to figure out some of this stuff. And so I imagine, like, and he even asked Billy at the end, like, teach me how fans think. And it's odd that he describes himself as a sports fan, but it's like, I need to know the perspective of fans. Like, he is also attempting to find something about, like, why am I the way that I am?
I believe that that's what the deconstruction. I always gravitate toward the weirdos, man, whether it's Ricky or John Amici or anybody else. Like, just a bunch of you guys, all of you.
I'm not weird.
All of you.
Huh. What do you mean?
I'm offended.
I want to talk to Cortez. About.
He's not in the Zoom, but I've sent him it and told him that we're asking.
He's
for him.
always buzzing around when you don't want him to be, and when you need him, he's never nowhere to be found.
So true,
That's
Billy.
how he rolls.
But he is absolutely an anarchist in this regard.
It 100. Look, we can talk to Cortez, but we can also ask Juju, who's there. I guarantee you, Juju did not put that up, and that was Cortez.
Okay,
that put that
Juju.
up.
No, I didn't realize Juju was there. Juju, tell me the backstory. Was Cortez actively turning the machine against Samson to be the anarchy that was in Billy's life? For Billy to complain that someone else is bringing anarchy in his life, and do we have the suspect, Juju? Is he right?
Okay, he's halfway right. Salute to Cortez, you my brother, I love you. Cortez sent me the video. It was a good 2-minute video, and I thought that was the most powerful quote in the whole video, so I pulled a quote and posted it.
I'll still blame Cortez.
Okay.
Boy.
That's a good job by them. That's a good
That's
social
literally
clip.
their job, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we peeled back the curtain yesterday on Colin Cowherd having 10 writers and whoever else to get the clips to go viral. And then
Did it again yesterday.
I
You saw that
saw it.
John Moran thing?
It was so
What
good.
happened?
It was so good. Well, he got to pump the brakes on John Morant after Greg Cody. Greg Cody broke the story. We don't have the viral means that he has yet, but give us time. We're going to figure it out. Juju and Cortez are going to figure it out because Greg Cody was first to pump the brakes on John Morant. Colin Cowherd stole it, threw it through 10 writers, and made it go viral. And then it's got some of the dog whistle stuff that he did to John Wall a long time ago, where he buried John Wall and said the way that he plays. Examine what's happening there, because it's a hustle. All of it is a hustle. That guy, Colin Cowherd, who goes after backward caps of Matthew Stafford, but doesn't have to remember it all after Matthew Stafford wins the championship, now goes after John Morant just to go viral. Just to go viral. Doesn't care about that opinion in any way.
You don't think he cares about pumping the brakes? We're all getting too excited about Ja?
I think, Colin, we talked about this yesterday. I think Colin is different from Skip in that his main motivation is conversation and engagement. Whereas I genuinely believe, as crazy as it sounds, that Skip Bayless feels very passionately about his own sports opinions. If you read interviews about his marriage, this rings true.
Oh, but this is the thing about Skip Bayless. I've told you this before. I don't actually think that he doesn't believe his opinions. He does believe all of those things, but has also, as little as that creature in sports gasbaggery has evolved, and I don't mean creature by him, I mean the guy who profits off being the hater and whatever costume he has to wear. It served him for so long that it's distorted the entirety of his personality. It's who he is. I'm a 70-year-old guy who says things, who inflame. What are the things that I can inflame with? It's my identity. All I do is eat broccoli and ride a bicycle all day because giving my opinion on sports is going to fuel me, and it has. Man, that dude wasn't one of the best journalists coming up. He was not. He figured out the things that needed to be done and said, including accusing Troy Aikman in a book of being gay, in a way that, made Aikman say to his attorneys, how much will it cost me to punch that dude in the face? This is back when Jerry Jones, Cowboys, before everything you've seen, what's happened in sports, where Jerry Jones now becomes the guy, entertainment, 30 years, that team hasn't been any good. But Skip Bayless was there when it was good, when it was Jimmy Johnson, the last time it was good, and they were interesting. And Aikman asked how much, his attorneys, how much to punch him in the face. And if they'd said just $1 million, he would have punched him. But they said a lot more than that. And now Aikman won't work with Fox. And now he goes and gets his $17 million from ESPN. Won't work with Skip Bayless. Has said publicly, one of the few things you never see Fox on Fox Crime is, yeah, I don't like that guy. I don't work with that guy. Now Troy Aikman has the money. He should have punched him in the face.
I think I'd rather be dead than alive, only eating broccoli and riding a bicycle at 70 plus.
Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Would you rather be dead or alive if at 70 years old your entire life was just giving sports opinions, riding an exercise bike, and eating broccoli?
Wait, I could still give sports opinions?
Well, that's the important variable, is it not, Billy?
So I have to eat broccoli to give sports opinions.
Well, this is the thing that he's fueling the machine so he can do this till he's 110. He's fueling the machine with broccoli, exercise, and hate.
I think he's going to get there.
I think so too. Don't underestimate him. He's still running the game. He's 70. Like LeBron, you saw what happened with Luke and LeBron last night, right? LeBron's being laughed at now. It's laughter time. At the end of the game, LeBron is matched up on Luka, and what?
You're still watching the Lakers, huh?
I am. They gave up last night.
I mean, the game started at 10 p.m. None of us watched it.
I didn't watch it. I'm joking.
There's a 0% chance.
You told me yesterday that you're falling to bed earlier and falling asleep earlier and earlier.
I am. But they did give up last night. You're down 14 seconds to go, and you don't try to foul. You have given up. I am sorry. Try to win the game.
I saw the damning viral videos of LeBron's effort put out there by Wob.
He's done.
I mean, he's done with this season. He's not done as a basketball player, but he's done with this iteration of the Lakers. I think so.
Oh, I still think he's an exceptional basketball player, Stugotz, and I'm not. This is not criticism.
You just said he's done. I mean,
no, that the team is.
Oh.
Put that on Twitter, Cortez.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Let me walk back and do it a different way.
Too late. Doesn't matter.
Oh, well, I was actually going to.
This is why Colin's so much better.
You're going to enhance it.
I was going to need coaching. I was going to get coaching from you guys on how to do it. You guys said you want to start doing a segment. How does the show go viral? Tell me how you want me to do the take, and I'll do it in a second.
But LeBron's too easy. You need to do something that's celebrated universally and piss everybody off with your opinion on it. Therefore, you get engagement and you go viral. That's how a calculated Colin Cowherd does it.
Like Coach K is overrated or something like that. We're celebrating Coach K. The career is wrapping up. Final game at Cameron Indoor coming up this weekend.
No,
I mean, have a take on that.
There's enough Coach K detractors.
Right. How about be pro-strike?
And work in the F word. Work in the F word. It worked for Billy.
You should be pro-owner.
Pro-owner. Nice.
The headline needs an F word. It helps.
Mm-hmm.
Say Rob Manfred is great at his job. Say he's the
Effing
best
great.
commissioner. He is pretty good. Look, here's how we shape this argument. If the job is to take the heat off the owners, then Rob Manfred is doing a spectacular job of putting all the heat on himself.
Well, that's why Goodell is great at his job.
Goodell's salary, does no one care? Last 2 years, I mean, there was a lot
No one cares.
There was
Just give us football.
There's an extra week of football this year, dude.
That's it.
17 games.
Yep.
Doing great.
And an extra playoff team. I mean,
That's right. God bless football.
How is it possible that Goodell got more publicity for making $0 at the start of the pandemic than for making $120 million the last 2 years?
So, June Lee tweeted out an image of Rob Manfred when canceling games is a, quote, disastrous outcome for the industry. Everybody was making fun of how delighted Rob Manfred was during yesterday's press conference. And Mike Schur tweeted, "Why is he so bad at this? Even Goodell, a disingenuous protein shake in a sports coat, understands that his job is to mostly look grim-faced and serious when bad things befall his sport."
What do you need me to do here, then? You need me to actively take Manfred, try and humanize, instead of being a player apologist my whole life, go the other way and become a Manfred apologist at a time when no one's defending Manfred, when he's the easiest pinata in the world.
If you want to be Colin, yes.
Yes, and I think all sports commissioners, Bettman, Goodell, Kathy Engelbert, we'll get to that in a second, Dana White.
Yeah, Dana White. Ooh, be pro Masvidal and Covington. Go.
I was going to be pro Masvidal.
I hope they both win. Go.
I was going to be pro. That fight was so interesting to me about a year ago.
Oh, it's still interesting.
Well, when I knew that Covington, though, was doing an act, before I knew that Masvidal would go further right than him and not be an act.
It's basically whose pill is a darker shade of red is what they're arguing.
I thought this was going to be a different kind of argument. I was hoping that Masvidal, on behalf of Latin people, would come after, Colby Covington is faking that. That's Colin Cowherd of MMA. He doesn't believe that stuff.
He was going to the White House. Whether it was it might have started as a bit of an act and to get heel heat, but he got all the access and it's not. He's legitimately that kind of person. And Masvidal's problem with him is more personal. When you hear him speak, it's about how Covington doesn't pay his bills, and that's why he got kicked out of American Top Team. These were former teammates. Stephen A. Smith tried his best to moderate an interview between Covington and Masvidal, and Stephen A. Smith probably understands what it's like living in Molly's world a little bit because he was totally trampled. You couldn't get a word in edgewise. Do you know what it takes to box Stephen A. out?
And like Stephen A. tried for like 15 uninterrupted seconds to talk. And at a certain point, just went, nah, never mind. Like he was in the middle of doing a Stephen A. Smith thing. It's like, I mean, what am I doing here? These guys aren't listening to me.
If Masvidal, I'm a little worried because of the most recent fights. The legendary chin of Jorge Masvidal seems to have taken a few hits over the most recent fights, and it's not that same chin. But if he can tap into that, then this fight promises to be fun. And while I disagree vehemently with their politics, I am absolutely going to watch them beat the shit out of each other.
But you said the chin of Masvidal. It's just the last fight you're talking about. You're talking about Usman, who didn't have punching power or was alleged to not have punching power. Masvidal said he doesn't punch hard, and then you had the viral knockout, sweat flying like orbit all around. It hasn't been
he caught him perfectly.
but it hasn't been multiple fights. You're thinking
just that one.
You're thinking it might be the Pacquiao situation of Pacquiao was never the same when he was hit so
After
hard
you get
that he fell on his face.
Usman, by the way, just as an aside, you don't pick up that skill that late in your career. It's amazing what he's done to reshape his career, and it makes you all think this is a guy that didn't have any punching power, and in the middle of his previous fight, he discovered it.
And the other thing, too, he's also the best pound-for-pound fighter probably in the world right now. So there's another thing. Also, if you're interested in Masvidal Covington, UFC 272, the boys are running a live stream watch-along starting at 9 p.m.
Nice.
Chris Cody, myself, Juju Gotti.
Stugotz.
Yeah.
If maybe Billy, I don't know, a couple different people. Dan, you're invited if you want to hang out, but we're going to be watching the prelims, previewing the fight. Yep.
Dan, it appears that the Le Batard Show Twitter handle has posted a picture of your face and the quote, "He's done. Dan Le Batard while discussing LeBron." And
It's out there already.
Oh, great job, Juju.
Juju.
I think we should just keep trying to do things like that, to just actively try to be Colin Cowherd and fail because I don't hate hard enough or well enough. But Manfred's been really a genius leader throughout all of this, I feel like. Manfred, I understand that the optics on some of this stuff looks bad, but I ask you to look at the human underneath and if he might not have been just a little bit of nervous because leading is hard. I felt for Rob Manfred. These billionaires, I know that you're wondering, some of you, why they aren't also called oligarchs like they are in Russia because of some stuff, but I side with the owners on this. I'm on the side of the billionaires here. There he is.
Number
Hey,
one of my
guys.
top five European basketball
Look
players.
at this crew. Look at
Yes.
this crew.
I just started sweating.
Oh, we've
Got some
been
PTSD here,
We've
man.
been wanting to talk to you for a long time. You broke our heart in Miami, Dirk, and then
stop it.
you went and partied in our nightclub, and Mark Cuban had this giant $10 million bottle.
The good old days, man. The good old days.
Oh,
That was
They
the
suck
worst.
for us.
That was the worst night of my life.
Yeah, Miami had 3 guys, and Dallas only had 1, and Deshaun Stevenson was
That guy.
God damn
you
you,
guys are
Dirk.
crazy.
And Brian Cardinal taking.
Cardinal.
Brian,
Oh, the
I
custodian.
heard Brian used to come on your show all the time.
We love
How
cards.
did you
Why didn't we post up JJ Barea?
Jesus
Christ! JJ Barea!
Why was LeBron afraid to post
Come on,
up
you had to have
Barea?
him. You
Dirk.
laughed at that. You
Dirk.
had to have.
Dirk, put us in your head. When LeBron was afraid to post up JJ Barea, were you laughing inside?
Hey, obviously we were pretty undermatched in that series, and there was really, they were way more skilled than us. So we kind of got away with junking up the game at times, playing a smaller lineup, playing some zone. We tried everything in our power to kind of slow them down. Obviously, I would say we were a smart team, a veteran team that knew how to play, and we just tried to junk up the game. And if we would have just made this a run up and down contest, obviously we would have had no chance. They were so athletic and so skilled.
Dirk, you were so beautiful in that series. It was frustrating. Me and my father wanted to run on the court and punch you in the face. I'll say it right. I'll say
You didn't
it
answer
now.
the question, though.
And you didn't answer the question at all. Were you laughing inside
Come on.
when LeBron James refused to post up JJ Barea?
Come on.
I think what happened was we were super fortunate to run into them in year 1 when they just came together. I think they were trying to find a way the roles, who's taking the big shots, who's being aggressive at what time. And I don't think they had figured out their roles yet. So I think at times, even LeBron would say they were a little hesitant. They weren't quite sure when is everybody's time. And so they hadn't figured all that out. I think if we would have run into them in year 2 or year 3 when they had everything more figured out and LeBron was super aggressive again, they would have probably beat us handily. So we ran into them at the right moment. So that worked out in our favor.
He's got a new book, The Great Nowitzki, Basketball and the Meaning of Life. It is available March 15th.
What a great name for a book.
The Great Nowitzki. And
I didn't come up with that.
and why is it that you decided to write it? Obviously, you're a hero internationally. You're a hero in Dallas. You're one of the best basketball players ever. Before you came on, we were talking about, in some ways, you revolutionized the sport. A man like you wouldn't have existed, I don't know, how many years before that, Dirk? Someone your size on the perimeter.
I appreciate it.
But you saw it happening, right? Someone your size on the perimeter would have at max Kevin Garnett's game, not the game that would extend to also the 3-point line, correct?
Yeah, that was just something I always worked on is face the basket. Of course, since I was European, I wasn't really athletic and I was kind of slow, and I had to, I was not the muscular guy under the basket that could rebound and push guys around. So I had to, play to my own strength and to my own body and to my own skill set. So shooting and moving always came easy to me, and always faced the basket. So I had more trouble later on adjusting to actually playing with the back to the basket, because it's something that I never really had to do. I could always front and face the basket and shoot from far out. That always came easy to me. So, I came in the league when the league was just changing. They took away the hand check-in and they put the zone in, and that kind of played right in my favor. It went away from, Charles, dribbling 20 times and isoing and backing down and then faking and laying the ball in. And I think that the league changed away from that. They wanted a little more free flow, a little more, passing game and 5-on-5 and pick and roll in. And that's what I grew up playing. So I came in the league when the ball and the basketball was just changing. So it kind of played right in my hands.
Dirk, what is the meaning of life?
I guess the meaning of life, I would say, is find what you love to do. And I'll tell that to my kids all the time, and it might sound cliche or whatever, but find your passion, find what drives you, find what you love, and then only then are you really going to put the work in. Only then are you going to go back to the gym at 2 a.m. and work on your craft and work on your game if you find something that you truly love. And that's what I obviously did in basketball. I never really saw it as work. I mean, I was getting paid for a hobby, you know, insane amount of money to throw a ball through a hoop. I mean, how insane is that? And so find your love, find your passion, and then super cool things are going to happen.
We are laughing here, Dirk, because as we talk to you on our big television production and sell your book, The Great Nowitzki, Basketball and the Meaning of Life, it's available March 15th. Chris Cody has pointed out that you, in these boxes with us, you look like a telemarketer. You do not look like someone who is one of the greatest basketball players ever, a 7-foot...
Is that a good thing, or is that a bad thing?
It looks
You're
ridiculous.
going to ask me about solar panels in like 5 seconds.
You don't look like someone who dominated LeBron, Dwayne, and Bosh.
Just for the record, I am perfectly fine letting my auto warranty lapse. Just leave me alone.
Hey, I'm one of the guys. I'm one of the guys. What can I say? I'm one of the fellas.
Take us back then, please. I want to, Dirk. You were a pillar of integrity. You didn't do controversial things. You were a professional. You handled everything with grace. When Wade and LeBron came in coughing, they came in coughing, mocking you because Dirk Nowitzki was sick, boo-hoo, in the finals. I want the true story behind how that landed with you, because you were trying to be such a good sport about everything, and they were making fun of your sniffles.
Yeah, so I don't know, out of nowhere, I woke up before game 4, which was one of the I saw it as the biggest game of my life. We were down 2-1. We had just given away home court advantage again, losing game 3 at the buzzer. And I was like, we need to win game 4. It's the biggest game of my life. We can't go down 1-3. And I woke up and I had a little fever. I didn't feel well at all on the day of the game. And so I got myself ready to play. I didn't play well in game 4, but we were able to pull it out. And, I just was coughing, I guess, a little bit in the press conference. And so then leading into game 5, I saw that at shoot around, Dwayne and LeBron that made fun of me a little bit. And I didn't appreciate it. It's not like I was, super mad or frustrated all of a sudden. It's like, this was the finals. It didn't motivate me any more than I was already. I was just, 1 or 2 games away from my dream, from winning the championship. So I felt it was a little disrespectful. I never felt like I had to fake an injury or an illness. I always try to be out there for my guys and for my team. And so I never really had to do any of that stuff. So, but that's really how I left it. Coach Carlisle addressed it before the team that we don't really want to get caught up in that. Focus on yourself, focus on our team. And so we really I felt a little bit disrespectful, but other than that, it didn't really add to our motivation or anything like that.
Dirk, I don't think you understand, though, Dirk, what you did to these now adults in the room who used to be kids, really, just children sort of loving Miami Heat basketball because it was a big, shiny thing. And you came around and you dropped your penis on the franchise, and I don't think you understand the damage you did, Dirk. They have scars reliving these games with you.
But an interesting thing is happening here, Dirk, where you're such a nice guy. I mean, you really are. I think we're turning like bleep the Heat. Bleep those guys.
Not about that.
No, he's a haunting nightmare. You can win Stugotz over in 10 minutes of being nice to him.
You're not actually a Heat fan.
But you have buried these kids, these guys. They wear the scars.
I'm reliving the summer of 2011 right now when I was 18 years old, and these were stakes into my soul.
I gotta say, you guys broke our hearts in 06. When we
damn right we did.
We were up 2-0.
Oh, 2006.
Yeah, how shitty did you feel?
Momentum, thought we were gonna do it, and then we come down there, and I still have nightmares about South Beach that year and that whole circus that happened down there. And
we have nightmares of is Bennett Salvatore.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting into all that.
Dirk.
But Avery, there was so much going on at the hotel and family and distractions. So we actually moved hotels in the middle of the playoffs in Miami and moved out to like Fort Lauderdale. And the stuff that happened there in that 1 week of Miami, I still dream about it. It's how that series slipped away from us, and so. Hey, it was just so much going on, and Miami stepped it up a little bit. We were up big in game 3, and we sort of let that game slip away. We were up like 10.
Yeah, you were.
Just a couple of minutes to go, and if we go up three dink, I think the series is over. And we let that game get away, and then their confidence came up. They bullied us a little bit in game 4, and then we had a series on our hands, and then. A funny story is actually we lose game 4. Avery is pissed. We got blown out. He says on the bus, "Pack your stuff, everybody. We're leaving. It's too much going on. Nobody's focused. We're leaving to Fort Lauderdale." So the next day after practice, we moved out. So I'm chilling. I'm getting my room somewhere in this hotel outside, and I come in my room. I was like, "Oh, sweet, there's 2 beds." So I put one bag on the bed, the other bed.
That's how you do it.
I lay down. Next thing you know, it goes chick, chick. I'm like, "What's the room service coming or something?" Daryl Armstrong walks in. We had roommates in the finals. I'm like, "What is happening here?" And so every guy all of a sudden ended up with their roommate in the middle of the finals before game 5, one of the biggest games, obviously, of the series.
Was he a snorer?
And so it was an unbelievable experience. DA, I don't know if you guys know DA at all, but he's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And so we had a good old time, but just reliving that sometimes in my head. I still lay in bed sometimes and shake my head on that week in Miami. What the hell went wrong? That I ended up with Daryl Armstrong in a room in the finals. Yeah. That was incredible. And then we lost the heartbreaker game 5, as you guys know. We thought we're still in good shape. We come home. We have 2 home games. We just got to win 1. And then
couldn't do it. Yeah.
But, did you send a strongly worded email about like these roommates was bullshit?
Yeah, what is that? Mm-hmm. And also, Avery Johnson, are you still mad at him because he never stopped doubling Shaq when Wade was the problem?
Wade was so. I mean, I gotta say that was Wade's coming out party. I mean, what a series he had. We couldn't guard him. You got to give him credit. They all started to play really well, and their role guys were making shots. They were tough. They had some good defenders, and they really made it hard on us. So, hey, I got to say, well-deserved, even though you guys probably remember this. After game 2, the morning news already printed the parade route where the parade was going to go if we win it all. I mean, just what are we doing?
Riley pasted that all over the arena.
Yeah. We were never in this position before, and just these rookie mistakes.
Act like you've been there before.
Happened. Yeah, that happened during this whole week of up going 2-0. You can't even make this stuff up.
But Dirk, you're a Mavs legend, and you have a great relationship with Mark Cuban. When after all of that, Mark Cuban is basically accusing the league of cheating and racking up fines all over the place because he is saying that Wade is getting all those calls because cheating. What were your thoughts?
Well, I still thought we did mistakes, and we could have done better in certain coverages. I wasn't great that whole final run. I got to say, I give Haslam a lot of credit. He's one of the hardest, fiercest competitor that I ever played with. And I always felt like he guards me really well. He's smart. He used his physicality against me, and so I had problems really putting my stamp on the series. So I never really looked to outside sources to blame. I blamed myself. I blamed us that we didn't really come through when it mattered most. And
Dirk, that's shocking, though. You have admitted publicly to Miami. You have admitted that Udonis Haslem was indeed, who's still in the league somehow, the Dirk stopper. He was called the Dirk Stopper, and first time you're admitting publicly he gave you problems.
Give us a story, Dirk. Give us a story of Udonis Haslem just being an intimidator.
You know, he's just physical. I mean, it's not like we talked a bunch of trash or something. I just always respected him for being a fierce competitor and always, you know, not giving in and just making stuff hard, making every catch hard, showing hard in the pick and roll, but still being fast enough to recover and make my catches hard. And just he was what Miami Heat basketball stands for, and it's hard-nosed, tough-nosed defense, and I really respected him for it.
New book, The Great Nowitzki, Basketball and the Meaning of Life. It is available March 15th. He's got to go, but we all reacted with shock when we have a list of the way that athletes become great. Whittingham, you want to do it from the bottom to the top just to get you out on this note, because you came up with a phrase that we did not have, which is coming out party for Dwayne Wade. So tell us where coming out party ranks on this list of things from bottom to top of how an athlete becomes great.
All right, so it begins with welcome to the show, then come out of the gates, then baby steps, then there's a fork in the road. The fork on the negative side leads you to pump the brakes, fly too close to the sun, then cup of coffee. That's the ditch where it ends.
That's the bad
Then
side.
we come back to the good side where it's past the sniff test, then taking off, then making strides, then making a statement, then coming out party, which is the new introduction, which
So you've decided where it goes.
I feel very bad about not including it initially. Thank you, Dirk, for the introduction.
Well, you don't
into
get
the
to put
list.
coming out party there. You've got to keep going, and he gets to put out coming out party
Okay,
wherever
fine. That's
he
where
wants
I've
to
put
put
it.
it.
That's okay. Okay, fine. I'll leave that to Dirk. Arrived, next step, do it in the Mecca. A leap, not the leap, a leap. Turn the corner, taking flight, defies description. The leap, done it in the playoffs, done it in the finals. Do it again. Achieve stardom, achieve superstardom, become one of the all-time greats.
He's got to
Past
go.
his prime, then washed.
All right, so
You guys
Dirk,
are freaks.
put those in their proper order. Okay?
See you later, Dirk.
1 through 20.
Yeah, I'll leave you guys. That is amazing. I can't add anything to
Go
that.
fuck yourself, Miami.
Say it. You need the Dirk Stopper. Say it.
I appreciate you guys.
See you
All the
later,
best.
sir.
See you,
Good to
Dirk.
see you
Good luck with the
guys.
book. Thank you.